Hello everyone, today I'm going to be doing a Pioneer League with mono green Planeswalkers. This list went 8-1 in the Pioneer Super Challenge that happened just a few days ago. I've been working on tuning this list quite a bit. I've really been enjoying playing this deck. It's been a lot of fun. So let's talk about some of the choices that we've made with the deck and why I think they make sense. So obviously you have the 8 mana dorks that are 1 mana, the 4 Elvish Mystic and the 4 Llanowar Elves. You just can't cut those ever. They're too good. This is where like the deck starts to change versus other deck lists. So I have 2 Voyaging Satyrs where I used to be playing 3 of them. I felt like the card is very strong when you have Nykthos or a Wolfwillow Haven on one of your lands in particular. But the problem with it is like being 2 mana as a ramp spell, it can just die to like almost any removal spell. Also, it's not a great blocker, not a great attacker, so I just decided to cut one of them because of that reason. Also, we have cut down one Wolfwillow Haven down to from 4 to 3, and the reason for that is because people are packing Tomic in their sideboard now. So like the mono white devotion players are playing that. There's also like a blue white devotion deck that's basically based white, but they have blue cards such as Teferi, Time Reveler, and Dragonlord Ojutai, things like that. But mainly it's because, yes, Tomic stops Wolfwillow Haven from enchanting any of your lands, which is pretty awkward. So sometimes these get stuck in your hand, which is why we're cutting down to just 3 of them. Burning-Tree Emissary, this card has been just fantastic. I've been playing with it for a few leagues. It adds 2 devotion for Nykthos. It allows you to have some really explosive plays, but also it's really nice against like aggressive decks, like if you're playing against mono red, because it gives you a body that just gets in the way, and it allows you to also advance like your ramp. So you can go Burning-Tree into Wolfwillow Haven, or you can go Burning-Tree into like an Elvish Mystic, or on like turn 2 if you went Llanowar Elf into turn 2 Burning-Tree and Jadelight Ranger. That's also a very strong play. Giving you a lot of devotion for Nykthos on turn 3 is very nice, and that's why this card has been performing very well for me. And then you have your 12 Planeswalkers. These are just the cream of the crop. You can't really go wrong with any of these. The Karn package is super strong. Our entire sideboard is dedicated to Karn, the Great Creator, being a good card. And then Vivien Arkbow Ranger, this card synergizes very well with Walking Ballista that we have in our main. We have Walking Ballista in our sideboard that we tutor up with Karn. We can also use Vivien to tutor up Walking Ballista as well. It also targets Questing Beast, Verdurous Gearhulk, and Scavenging Ooze, things like that. But also it just, turns our mana dorks into actual threats in the late game, so that's pretty good for us. Its fight ability is very relevant. It's actually not fighting, it's just your creature deals damage to target creature or planeswalker, so it's even better than that. And then, of course, Nissa, who shakes the world. It's just one of the most powerful planeswalkers printed in recent years. It creates threats by itself. They're hasty, they have vigilance. It also just makes a lot of mana, so, I mean, this card's just insane. Exactly where we want to be for this kind of deck. Voracious Hydra, same thing as Walking Ballista. It's basically a removal spell in the deck. But it also, you could just play it as like a giant threat sometimes. Adds 2 devotion for our Nykthos, which is also pretty nice. I was playing 3 Walking Ballistas in the main and then 1 on the side. We decided to cut 1 down, mainly because I wanted to make room for Burning-Tree. But honestly, like with the 4 Karns and like the 2 Ballistas in the main, you basically have like 7 copies of the card in your deck, so that's pretty nice. And Jadelight also digs you for things of that sort. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about the Jadelight Rangers. We cut 1 of them for a Burning-Tree. Card's very good. Nice role player in the deck. Allows you to sift through your deck looking for lands if you're missing like a land drop. But also the main thing it's for is looking for our Nykthos and then setting up the top of our deck with planeswalkers that we want. For the sideboard, we have 1 Skooz, 1 Questing Beast, 1 Verdurous Gearhulk, and the Great Henge as our green permanents. The Skooz is obviously great for graveyard decks, Uro decks, things of that nature. Also, it's fine against Inverter. It's not the greatest, but it's just fine. Keeping cards out of the graveyard is pretty nice. It allows you to stall. Questing Beast, just great against any Planeswalker-based deck. If you just want to go on the offensive, you can tutor this up with Vivien, so that's pretty nice. Verger Scarehulk. This card pairs very well with Walking Ballista. Just putting counters directly onto it. Great Henge. This is for any grinding matchup. You get to tutor it up with Karn, the Great Creator. It allows any of your creatures to become much better threats. They basically makes all your mana dorks into like Elvish Visionaries that can tap for mana too. So that's pretty solid. Citadel, you can tutor with Karn, just to guarantee that you hear land drop. Also, a really cool combo is you can make it 3/3 indestructible with haste with Nissa as well. Tormod Script for the Dimir matchup. Pithing Needle, Planeswalker decks. Damping Spear for Lotus Storm. Heart of Kiran, this is for spirits, but also decks that you just want to pressure Planeswalkers, or if you need like a good blocker, this is a good blocker. Sky Sovereign, this is an all-star in any creature-based matchup. Also deals with Planeswalkers very nicely. God-Pharaoh Statue, this is kind of an all-star in like against almost any deck if you can get it out early. Meteor Golem to answer any threat. Ulamog as our top-end sideboard card. Emrakul is good against everything, and then of course the Walking Ballista. Anyways, it's enough talking about the deck. Let's just go ahead and get started. Those of you in the comment section, please let me know if you've played any Pioneer, what decks do you like, are there any changes that you want to see to the ban announcement for Pioneer. It's always very interesting to hear people's opinions. I do feel that something from Inverter is probably going to be going eventually. I'm not sure exactly when, but I do think that Dig Through Time is quite an atrocious card to have in Pioneer. The play patterns it creates are just very unhealthy, I think. Alright, so we're taking a look at our opening hand, and of course there's no ramp. We have all of our powerful Planeswalkers, but it doesn't do anything until turn 4, so we're going to mulligan. Okay, so this hand's closer. So it's a 1-lander. We have a 1-drop, a 2-drop, 3-drop, and then 2 really powerful Planeswalkers. The only problem is we have 1 land. I'm not huge on mulliganing to 5 here, and because we have like a first turn play, I'm very inclined to keep it and just hope that we draw our next land, and we have the duplicate of Karn, so we're going to bond that. So we're hoping that we hit our land drop, but if we don't, we could definitely fall behind very fast. But at least we have a turn 2 play. Okay. So we might be playing against the green-black Stompy deck, perhaps? Yeah, that's what it's looking like. Okay, so we hit our land. That's very good for us. I'm going to start off with a Jadelight Ranger, because we do want to hit our next land drop. It's pretty important. Voracious Hydra is very good. However, I do think that we have to bottom this, I think, because I can't afford to miss that land drop. Okay, good. So we hit our land there. Scrap Heaps is going to attack, and we're definitely not going to block. Oh wow. So they might have a Coco. Well, not might, they definitely have a Coco. So this Llanowar Elf is free because I will get a devotion off of it from Nykthos, so I'm going to play that. And now we get to play Vivien, Arkbow Ranger. And I'm going to put 2 counters on this Jadelight Ranger. And we're just going to have to sit back. And our opponent's going to cast a Coco at the end of the turn. Let's hope this isn't too bad for me, but most of the time this deck is very consistent at getting big threats, and that's exactly what I was afraid of, them getting Aronis. That's pretty devastating. Oof, and a Great Henge is their last card. That's pretty good. So any creatures they draw after this could be very problematic. Okay, so they're sending all of these at Vivien. So they can pump two things here. Sorry, they can pump one thing. So if I block the scrap heap, they could just pump it, and then they trade with my Jadelight. Vivien's dying either way, so it doesn't really make sense to block here. I'm just going to take it, or have Vivien take it. Like, it's a little unfortunate, but I think it's kind of the sacrifice that we have to make. But at least it's not coming at my face. Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pips. So Nykthos would make 4. Then we have 6 mana that way. So if I get Karn, what is that doing for me? Think I should probably play the Wolfwillow on the forest, because I do want to get a devotion out. I think I should have did that differently. I should have tapped these Llanowar Elves and not the forest. So I do think that might cost me, but we're going to try our best to come back from that mistake. Okay, we're going to untap forest. Go to our attacks. Maybe they could have blocked and then... That was probably a bad attack, but my opponent didn't block for some reason. They could have blocked and then just pumped their guy. That wasn't the best attack ever. I don't know why I attacked. Probably should have just held back, but... Oh well. It worked out in my favor. Okay, so they drew land. That's definitely good news. Okay, they're coming at me. This is coming at Nissa. This is coming at me. So they could pump twice, meaning this would be 11 power. If I block with this for 5 power, sorry, for 5 toughness, that would not be enough. But if I blocked with this and this, that would be enough to save Nissa. I think I'm inclined to save Nissa. That would make sense to me. So let's see, 1, 2, yeah, 6 toughness. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are getting through to Nissa. And then this is going at me, this is going at me, so I can afford to take that. That makes sense to me. Yep. Alright, so my Nissa barely survives. Oh wait, I miscalculated actually. I forgot the Great Henge even taps for mana. Card is just insane. That card is very, very good. Alright, so we're gonna have to... How are we gonna do this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Definitely gonna play Karn. That's the easy part. The Ronus can no longer attack for now, but that could change. So this is a tough situation because they could just pump with Ronus and basically they can keep on attacking with it. It's definitely tough. If I get Heart of Kirin, it just blocks something, but doesn't really do that much. If I Pithing Needle, I can name Ronus and it can no longer give the ability, so actually, that makes sense to me. I'm going to do that. So, they're still going to keep drawing from the Great Henge if a creature enters the battlefield, but this allows me to basically keep Karn alive, but also they can no longer give trample or +2/+0 to their creatures. So I'm pretty much forced to block here. So I'm gonna actually block an elf here and then an elf here, or sorry, my force here and the elf here, because I don't want the scrap heap to die. Because then that means they're drawing cards and that's not good for me. I'd rather just sacrifice an elf at that point. Okay. So I could tutor with Karn, but then the problem with that is they could start activating that for mana and gaining a bunch of life. But at the same time, don't think I could just sit here. Let's see what I have in my sideboard. So I could get a Sky Sovereign, or I could get a Heart of Kirin. That seems pretty good. That could block this very well. If I get a Walking Ballista, that doesn't really do much. Maybe I just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. I could get a Meteor Golem and then destroy the Great Henge. Kind of like that. Like the scrap people keep coming back, but I think I'll eventually draw something that can deal with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do that. I just want to get this Great Henge off the board. So we're slowly stabilizing. I guess I'll block it. It's kind of done its job. Okay, that was a good draw. So they're going to get their scrap heap back, which means I should get a blocker for it, which I will. I'm going to get Heart of Kirin because it blocks super well. My opponent's complaining about my top deck, but I mean, that's what my deck does. It plays literally all Planeswalkers. I think people forget that sometimes. This deck plays a lot of big things. It's very consistent. But also, like, the tutor package allows you to do some very insane things. So here I could just get a Ballista, and then I can start eating away at their board, which sounds like a plan. Six, 7, 8. Alright, let's make a big Ballista. Let's shoot down their elf. And I think I'm going to start attacking with this Heart of Kiran using this. No, we're going to use our Walking Ballista to do that. Because our forest has vigilance. Scrappy can't block. Alright. We squeaked by there. I definitely thought I was going to lose that game. So our opponent's just playing mono X5s. We don't traditionally sideboard with our deck. However, I do think that Scavenging Ooze has some utility in this matchup because it can grow bigger than their dudes, but also like it can eat away their Scrap Heap Scroungers. And I don't really tutor for this card very much anyways, so I'd rather just have it than like a random Mana Dork. Probably just take out a Voyaging Satyr for it. And I think we're good with that. But yeah, traditionally you don't sideboard with this deck at all. But I think for this matchup in particular, like, changing one Mana Dork won't really make that much of a difference. And also I just think that Scooz is a more powerful card for the matchup. So like if I see it, I see it, but if not, it's okay. My deck still can operate fine. Because of Vivien and Karn being able to tutor for the other cards. Also the life gain could be relevant. Okay, so this hand's pretty good. We got a 1-drop, and then we have our sideboard card. We have Walking Ballista and Hydra, which is very good. Okay, Castle Garenbrig, that's a good draw. Can make some very explosive turns. Steel Leaf Champion, okay, that's a little scary. So here's where we have to make a decision. We could play a Hydra on 1 and kill their elf. Or, alternatively, we can wait 1 turn, advance our board state, playing Scooz and Mystic. Alternatively, we can also go Walking Ballista, shoot the elf, try to slow them down a bit, and then still play Mystic. So if I go Walking Ballista, shoot that, I'll have enough to play a 4/5 Hydra that fights something, or just becomes a 8 power creature. That seems pretty good. So I'm definitely going to play Hydra next turn, not this turn. The question is, do I want to kill their Mana Dork? It's definitely plausible to do so. I think I'll do that, actually. And then I'll play the Ballista, or the Scooz later. So we're going to take that out, and we're going to play my own elf. Okay, that's a good start. So killing that elf was actually very good for us because they couldn't play a 3-drop this turn. So we're going to take a hit here, but I think we'll be fine. So yeah, we're going to just make a giant Hydra. I could actually fight one of these elves as well, but I think this being a blocker is also pretty good. And I already have enough fodder for Scoos. It can grow to a 4-4 already with just what's in the graveyard. So I'm just going to double the counters. And they don't really play removal, so I think this is good. I think the only removal they play really is Assassin's Trophy, but they only play 2 of them. Well, my opponent's deep in the tank, so that's a good sign for me. They definitely have to find a way past this Hydra. And there's not really a clear path for that, other than if they have like a removal spell or something of that nature. A Galta would also be one way through it, but they only play 1 traditionally. I think our opponent really has to rely heavily on like a Coco to like advance their board state. Let's see, so I'm gonna go. Let's think about this. We can go Nissa. Scavenging Goose. Untap. And I'm just going to pass with these blockers up. But also, I can grow my Scoos to a 4-4. Here comes the Coco. Even a Rotting Regisaur doesn't get through this Voracious Hydra, but now with Ronus it does, so it does change some things a bit. Okay, a Great Henge, that's pretty scary. Now they could start gaining some card advantage, and they still have 2 cards in their hand, which are most likely creatures. Especially if they discarded Questing or Lovestruck Beast. Three mana. Another Rotting Regisaur. Okay. So their board state's growing massive. So they're not... Okay, so that has Death Touch. I have to keep that in mind. But I don't really care about letting Nissa go to 1. It doesn't really make too big of a difference being at 1 or whatever. As long as it can still stay alive, that's all that really matters. So I'm just going to eat their creatures in the graveyard. Gain some life. Okay, so that's not really doing much for us. But these are providing fodder. Guess I'll eat this. And I guess I'll eat that. Untap a land. And I will just sit here and can't really do anything. So they're gonna lose their hand. So it's all about what they're if they keep on drawing creatures, then that's pretty good. Oh, okay, so they're gonna cast a Coco here. It looks like. Oh, Noxious Grasp. Okay, that's not very good for us. Okay, on the bright side, they're discarding creatures too, so my Scoos is going to keep getting bigger. I'm kind of surprised they didn't just kill that, because it's going to keep gaining me life and getting bigger. Okay, Ronus is coming at Nissa. So if these are all coming at Nissa, I don't really care actually. I'm just gonna let her die. Okay, we're just gonna eat the graveyard. Nykthos, okay. Okay, so the registers are no longer making them discard cards. It's not good for me. Eventually I want to get the scoos to be big enough to where it... Oh, jeez. It can block these rotting registers and not die. Problem is they're just getting mana with these elves that they're drawing. Okay, so let's see. They don't have any way of granting trample, I don't think. Yeah, because they have only one elf. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is double block here. Chump here. And I don't really care about 6 damage. I could just block that, huh? Because they don't have... Oh, no. They have the Great Henge. Okay, can't forget that. So that doesn't make sense. So I just take this. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, I do think that we're just falling behind way too much. Oops. Five, 6. So I want to fight the Nessian Hornbeetle before it gets too out of hand. But my opponent can just Alpha Strike and then I lose. So I don't think it really matters. I think I'm just too far behind. This Great Henge is just absolutely insane. I definitely need to find an answer for that Great Henge right away. One way to like slow it down at least is Karn the Great Creator, and then I just need to be able to like Meteor Golem it or Ulamog it. So I do think that is what we need to prioritize. But yeah, I think that Scoos was pretty good. It definitely like helped us survive for a while. But yeah, being on the draw against that deck's very scary when they have the turn 1 elf into like a 5 mana or 3 mana 5/5 or whatever. Okay, so this hand's borderline. It doesn't have removal, but it has Scoos. It has a lot of lands for Nissa. This one's definitely close. I'm gonna keep it and hope to draw some action other than Nissa. Like, I'm really hoping that I get Karn. Okay, that's not it. Just gonna attack, see if they block. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Not the best draw we have, but our opponent missed a land drop. So if you can find a way to kill their elves, like if we draw Walking Ballista here, that's going to be huge. Well, we're flooding out. It's not good. Let's see, so our best draw would be like Karn or Vivien Reed would be good. Land is not good. It's pretty unfortunate sequence of draws we've had. I do think it was a fair keep though. Okay, so they drew their land. They have Coco up. I'm gonna block. Burning-Tree is not the best. I will eat the Regisword just to gain a life. It won't get a counter because of the Blight Beetle, but gaining life is nice. Here comes the Coco. Steel Leaf Champion. It's pretty good. So this is definitely a problem. Running out of options. It's gonna chump with the Llanowar Elf. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they can only pump this once. Yep, there's the Great Henge. Yeah, I think we're in a position where we like just can't come back. It's almost impossible. So I'm just gonna concede and then move on to the next match. That was unfortunate. The Blight Beetle really stopped us from doing what we wanted, but also we kind of hit a string of lands there. I don't think it was a bad keep. I think it was totally fair. We had one of our best Planeswalkers. We had a Manadork, Skoos, which we know this is a creature-based matchup, and things are going to be trading left and right, so just the unfortunate sequence of draws there. Also, our opponent being able to draw Great Henge every game was also very nice for them. Gives them a lot of fodder, a lot of mana, and it's very easy to cast in their deck. I do think that's probably one of our tougher matchups, mainly because like every creature in the deck is just like so undercosted for the rate. They also can be just as explosive because of the fact that they play Llanowar Elves. And then they have the late game staying power of the Great Henge. So this is a 1-lander. The deck only plays 22 lands, so I'm kind of inclined to mulligan. This is much better. I'm going to bottom Nissa, who shakes the world, because Walking Ballista pairs very well with Vivien. And also I have Castle Garenbrig, Wolfwillow Haven, so I'm going to be able to make a lot of mana. Okay, so we're playing against Mono White Devotion. Definitely an interesting matchup. Could be very close. I think the key to this matchup is Karn the Great Creator. If I can get that down, then that'd be very good for me. Okay, my opponent's just going to attack for 1 and then crack their clue, most likely. Okay, Wolfwillow Haven number 2. So I can go Wolfwillow Haven, Forest. Wolfwillow Haven, my Forest again. Yep. So next turn I will have a lot of mana available to me. Most likely I'm just going to play this Ballista. Yeah, I think because they played that Heliod, I kind of want to play this 3/3 Ballista. That way I just cannot die to the infinite combo. We were going to do this anyways, but this will be a nice insurance plan. Gideon is pretty good. So we're going to bubble my Ballista. Okay. Well, Heliod's a creature now. Okay. I could die to the combo at any second. So here I'm just dumping my hand. I'm going to spread out the counters. There's no real use of putting it on Ballista right now when the Gideon's just bubbling them every turn. And I'm definitely not looking in a great position because I could just die to the combo now. All they really have to do is go Walking Ballista, play Heliod, and then they win. Or attack with Heliod, give it lifelink, and then they win. Gideon's definitely a problem. Not the most fun card to play against. Daxos, okay. And a Fenza. Okay. It's fine, I guess. So I just block here. And I block there. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So I could go get Meteor Golem, blow up Gideon. That unlocks my Walking Ballista. Yeah, I do think that I have to kill Gideon somehow. Alternatively, I can go Verdurous Gearhulk, but what does that do? If I get Gearhulk, it allows me to put 4 counters on this. It's 7/7. And then I kill Gideon on the upkeep. It's very close. Yeah, there's no real way around the combo at this point. I think I'm going to go with the Gearhulk plan. Stop on my opponent's upkeep. Shoot Gideon down. And we just hope we don't die to a Ballista here. Although I think my Ballista should be able to keep theirs in check. I believe so. Okay, cracking a clue's fine. Okay, it's also fine. Should be able to make quite a bit of mana next turn. Not really planning on blocking Heliod here. So we're going to move some counters around. Yep. Could always chump block Heliod sometime. I'm definitely not going to block that. Nissa who shakes the world. Wow, okay. Okay. So we play Nissa. Untap. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mana. That's 3 pumps on Ballista. You can start shooting down some of their board. I think I'm just gonna go with put 2 counters on Ballista, 2 counters on Ballista this turn. I just want to have a few blockers for Nissa to survive. Oof, baffling end. That is unfortunate. So now my Ballista is gonna die, but in response, I can kill either 2 Thraben Inspectors, which doesn't seem fantastic. I'm gonna take out this Anafenza, I think. Okay, and then I guess I just shoot them in the face. It's definitely not the best situation. Knight of the White Orchid, that's fine. Heliod's is quite the issue. So I block, and then I block, and I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if they attack all outs. Don't think they will, though. That wouldn't really make sense. They could kill Nissa, so let's see. They attack all out. And Nissa, I double block something. Or I block, and then Nissa takes... Block. Yeah, it takes 6, goes to 0. Yeah, so... Looks like they're sending everything at Nissa. Interesting. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. It's either they have to prioritize killing Nissa this turn, or they prioritize putting damage on me. That makes more sense. So they're going to put me to 1 by doing this attack. So I go block here. Question is, do I want to save the Gearhulk, or do I want to save my forest? I think the forest probably should be worth saving. Let's see, so I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I go to 1. Yeah, I'm going to keep the forest around because it taps for 2 mana and the Gearhulk doesn't do anything other than just block. It's not great. Let's see, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 creatures out. So I wonder if it makes sense to make a wolf here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 devotion. Could make 2 wolves. And just try to get this thing to ultimate and then have indestructible blockers. So like the more lands I have that are indestructible, the better. So maybe that's actually worth it. Does it make sense to make another wolf this turn? I think I will start with just 1 and see where that leads me. I do want these 3/3 blockers because it blocks these 2 power creatures very well. Cracking of Clue. And once again, if they ever draw Ballista, I think I just die on the spot. Because they would gain a life, put the counter on Ballista, and then infinitely combo off with Heliod. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, they're alpha striking. So, pretty easy blocks on here. And then I think I go something like this. 2 blockers on that. This is chump, chump, and a chump. I think that's how we're doing it. Let's see. Would it make sense to go block here? No, I think that's how we're going to block. Not looking great. So I have exactly 5 blockers. So block. Not a great spot. Not exactly sure what can get us out of this when we have 0 mana. Since we're just losing all of our lands. Yeah, Heliod being indestructible is incredibly annoying. It's always a creature too, I feel like. It's just so hard to not get 5 devotion in this deck. Yeah, I just lose my whole board. Yep. That was so brutal. Heliod just ate us alive. So I think we just have to mulligan aggressively for Karn. Honestly, there's not really any other way around it. It's definitely an argument for bringing Questing Beasts because they are so Planeswalker based, but maybe if we survive this game, I'll do that. So I kind of like this hand because it has 2 Jadelight Rangers, so we can kind of sift through our deck. It doesn't have the fastest start, but Mono White doesn't have the fastest starts either. And they also play like a bunch of those enchantments now that get rid of your creatures. Okay. So now I can just go Burning-Tree, which blocks really well into Elvish Mystic. And then I could go Jadelight next turn, start setting up the top of my deck. Hopefully find a Nykthos or like Karn the Great Creator. Those are what we're looking for. So I'm going to hit my Elvish Mystic. Okay. It's actually really good for me. I kind of wanted them to waste that on that. Okay, we found the Nykthos. So that's actually pretty insane. That will make a lot of mana next turn. We're going to put that in the bin, and we'll keep that on top. Definitely prioritize the removal here. Gonna attack with this Burning-Tree. Now hopefully we can start putting the pressure on them a little bit. Pick off these small creatures. Okay, so they're spending time cracking clues. That's actually great for me. I'm gonna play a Hydra. Have it fight. Take some devotion off the board, get a blocker out of the way, and now they're actually getting beaten for a lot of damage. And then next turn we have an even bigger Hydra. Oh, these just don't even matter. Okay, so they take out that Jadelight Ranger. Oh, they're taking out the bigger toughness one, okay. Ooh. That's really good for me, actually, because now I can go Jadelight. I'm going to actually save this thing. If they want to trade, that's kind of okay with me. I want to save this for, like, a better target. Okay. Nykthos is scary. Karn the Great Creator. Whoa. It's not something I expected. Glass casket. So my guess is I should prioritize taking this Karn off the board. I'm going to play this Nykthos. This is going to make a lot of mana. We're just going to get the Xanafens out of the way. We're going to send both that Karn. Still gives them a turn to figure out what they can do. Arcanist Owl, okay. Baffling End. What does that card do? Oh, that one. Okay, that deals with the Hydra, so that's pretty good. So now they might be stabilizing a bit. Nykthos was not a good draw. I'm not going to attack. I just need to find... I need to hold the devotion, the creatures. Okay, so they're kind of whiffing too. Garenbrig is not what we wanted. Just going to have to sit here. So if they draw like a Walking Ballista, that could be very problematic. Another Arcanist Owl is also very good for them. They're going to have an insane amount of devotion. Wow, this is very unfortunate. We're both just flooding out. This is insane. Alright. Our first threat. And who knows how long. So they're... Okay. It's kind of interesting. They could have just took that and then killed the Nissa. But instead they favored just killing the land. Kind of surprised by that. I feel like they should have just waited. Getting the trials, that's very, very annoying. But at the same time, we have this Nissa, so we can pressure it. So I'm okay with this, actually. It's not as good when they don't have a huge board state. So they prevented all damage that by Burning-Tree deals, sure. Oh, wow. Okay, Karn the Great Creator. That was a fantastic draw. Let's see. View sideboard. What do we want to get here? Get an artifact. Okay, they conceded. Wow. What a game. That was a nail-biter for sure. We kept on top-decking land after land. That was insane. So actually, you know what? It changed my mind. I'm going to take out one of these satyrs, and I'm going to put something else in favor of it. I kind of want another threat. And I think it's going to be the Questing Beast, maybe? Let's think about it. So now that we know they're playing Karn, we do want to have more answers to Planeswalkers, so this actually kind of makes sense to me. Yeah. They also like, it dodges a lot of their removal, playing like Glass Casket and the other 2-mana one with the dinosaur on it. Yeah, I think we're gonna bring this in. I think this kind of makes sense. Voyaging Satyr is just a terrible top deck in the late game, and I think my deck can outmaneuver. Okay, so this is a good start. We have a ramp, we have Karn, we have access to our sideboard right away. This turns off Ballista. I like this. So I hope this doesn't die to a Ballista, but if they do play their Ballista and sack it, that's totally fine. Okay. So they did prioritize killing our elf. Okay, that's a pretty good draw. So I think I'm gonna play that first. And I hope they don't have Tomic, because that would really punish us for not playing this Wolfwillow Haven. But so this, if I played Wolfwillow Haven, that guaranteed Karn the Great Creator. Okay, so I might be getting punished a little bit for not playing there. Yeah, Nykthos. Okay. Okay, they played Karn the Great Creator. Question is, what are they getting with it? Oh, they're just plussing it. Okay. So they're not activating it right away. It's interesting. I'm gonna play my own. So doesn't really make sense to get anything here other than something that can do something when it comes into play. So it's looking like Gear Hulk is an option. Sky Sovereign is an option for sure. Could also get a Meteor Golem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 7 mana next turn. Kind of in for Meteor Golem. Could also just get a Ballista here for 1, but that doesn't really do anything. I'm going to get Sky Sovereign this turn, and then next turn I will get the Meteor Golem and then blow something up. Yeah, I think that makes sense to me. I'll attack Karn. Karn mirrors an interesting dynamic for sure. Question is, what are they getting? They're getting their own Sky Sovereign. Okay. Okay, so they're going to kill my Karn, is what it looks like. Nykthos. So if I play Jadelight, I'll have enough devotion to play Karn, turn off their Sky Sovereign. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Do I want another Jadelight is a question. I don't think I do. Nissa is a good card. I will take that. Now I'll get the Meteor Golem. So I can attack Karn. That way... This is interesting. So they can make Sky Sovereign a creature with Karn. Attack me. Kill Karn. But then I can kill their Sky Sovereign with Meteor Golem. And then kill their Karn with my creature. Also, I have Nissa who shakes the world next turn. A lot of back and forth this game. Definitely very different from games 1 and 2. I wonder if they see the line of activating Karn to make their Sky Sovereign into a creature. Okay, so they didn't do that. They're going to go look for something. Question is what? Pithing Needle. Okay, so they're going to turn off my Karn the Great Creator. Okay. Now the White Orchid. It doesn't even get a land, so that's fine. They're playing their own Karn. Okay. Now they're going to turn it into a creature. Okay, so they did see that line. Okay. They're going to make a blocker big enough. Turn off Karn now. Okay, so they're going to turn off Karns forever. Including their own. Oh, they choose Nissa. Okay. Okay, so they're going to kill that. Okay, so how are we going to navigate this game? I'm just going to kill the Sky Sovereign. I think I just have to do it. Yeah, I just have to do it. It's a little unfortunate they had another Karn the Great Creator. That definitely allowed them to pull ahead. But I can't let that Sky Sovereign just sit there and keep on eating away at our board. Walking Ballista, yep. It's pretty brutal. Oh, and now they just have the combo. Yeah, tough. Oh, yeah. That was brutal. Not a great start. The games have been very close. But I do think that the second Karn was the nail in the coffin for our opponent. They were able to just pull way far ahead. Also, them being on the play is pretty important, I'd say. Being able to play the Ballista and kill our Llanowar Elf, slow us down a bit, was pretty brutal. So this hand isn't great. There's no dorks. Doesn't really do anything. I'm gonna mulligan. Okay, this hand's much better. I'm gonna bottom Nissa Who Shakes the World. Temple of Epiphany, interesting. I don't know what deck plays that exactly. This could be something new. Jadelight Ranger, okay. I'm gonna play that, and then I'm gonna try to hit my land drop. Okay, great. I hit 2 of them. Even better. Ooh, Grixis? That's interesting. I'm just gonna get this Vivien out there. Since they use the Dreadbore, I'm not quite as afraid of it dying. Also, like, this kind of plays around a board wipe, which very well could be in their colors. They are playing Grixis after all. Thought sees me. That's pretty good. Hope they don't have another Dreadbore. That would be awful situation. Okay, so they didn't have it. Oof. So I'm just gonna start jamming. So if I untap this Vivien, I can slam anything in my sideboard, I believe, any of my creatures. So it would behoove my opponent to kill this Vivien now. So I can go Nykthos, make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana with just the Nykthos and then 2 forests. Untap with Voyaging Satyr, make 6 more, using 2, going to 10 mana. Tapping Llanowar Elves, that's 12 mana, and then the last forest that we have is 13. And then I also have another Nykthos, so that's another 6 mana. So, yeah, I can cast anything in my deck if they don't do anything here. So on my draw step, they might be killing my Vivien. It's probably what they're doing. Don't know what else they can have. They missed a land drop. Okay, black, what? Maybe they're dealing 2 to Vivien? Oh, they're drowning and locking, okay. So they're trying to take me off of mana. So let's see here. This could change the math a bit, but I think I should have enough. Yeah, I'll definitely have enough. I'm gonna go get Ulamog, destroy their lands, and then just win the game. Alright. So some kind of a control deck. Usually against control, I like taking out like one of my dorks in favor of something else. They're Grixis colors, so they could be very well playing like Kroxa, Graveyard Matters kinds of cards, so Scavenging Ooze is a possibility. I kind of want to bring that in. I'm thinking that they might have some kind of Planeswalkers, maybe Fires of Invention. Maybe there's a Fires deck, who knows. I'm going to bring in the Skoos for now, and then if I see more Planeswalkers, Questing Beast could come in Game 3 if there is a Game 3. Definitely a matchup where you want to play around board wipes, potentially, because they could have access to like Languish, Anger of the Gods, anything of that sort. Sand's pretty slow. They are a Thoughtseize deck though. They mulled a 6 already. I think I'm gonna take a mulligan. Okay, I will keep that. That's fine. If my elf dies, it's definitely going to be an uphill battle. But we do have the top of the deck, so things can always change. Okay, that's not good. This is a Thoughtseize. So now they could just take one of my Planeswalkers, and then if they have removal, the Llanowar Elf is going to die. Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, so we have one spell that matters, and then a bunch of lands. So another Thoughtseize would be very good. Fatal Push is obviously good. Oh wow, they missed a land drop. That's not good for them. Oh wow, they missed another one. Alright, we're not doing much better here. We have the opposite problem. Definitely a greedy keep from our opponent, I think. This could punish them. wow, still no land. Let's see, so could get a Questing Beast and start jamming, and then next turn play Vivien. Yeah, I kind of like that. Just start getting in, right? Yeah, I think that's the play. They can't Fatal Push this either. So this is definitely going to put a fast clock on if they don't draw their land immediately. They could Thoughtseize away my Vivien. Oh wow, they just conceded. Okay. Okay. Well, my opponent had a very, very greedy keep for sure. The one lander in a control deck does not seem ideal. Yeah, they had Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, but they were on the play, so they could have definitely had a chance of drawing the land, but if their hand didn't operate on 2 mana much better than it could on 1, then I don't think it was a good keep. But I'm sure a control deck is usually filled with a lot of 3-drops and 4-drops, so it just doesn't seem correct. Yeah, both hands so far have been complete garbage. I'm going to 5, and it's definitely not ideal, but I think with this kind of a deck, you just really need to put a priority on having a mana dork, or at least a turn 2 play, but this has neither, and our first hand had 0 lands, so we're going to 5. Alright, this is fine. So we have 2 mana dorks, and then a payoff. So I think I'm going Hydra, Nissa on the bottom, and then keeping the dorks and mana. So even if I miss on lands, I can at least play Karn. Karn can get Darksteel Citadel, which is mana. And as long as we have that, we can play Magic. Of course, my opponent also mulliganed to 6. They're playing a red deck that's not good for me. Okay, they're just going to kill my elf. And that's exactly why we keep our lands in hand. Okay. It's not the worst draw ever. It's not the best either. We do need to hit our next land drop. I have a feeling the Satyr is going to die next turn as well. If our opponent just keeps on clearing our creatures out and our ramp spells, then we're in for trouble. Okay. Okay, so that's actually really good. They didn't do anything. It's fantastic. So here I could play a 4/5 Hydra, which is basically a solid blocker, or I could just play Karn. I'm just going to play Karn. And I will go get a thing. It's gotta be either a land, so I can guarantee my land drop, or I can get Ballista. It's close. Or not Ballista, Heart of Current. Sky Sovereign's also very good. If they don't play anything, I think I'm gonna get Sky Sovereign, because that just, if I can just keep the board clear, that seems pretty good. Yeah, we're just gonna get that. Getting a land seems reasonable too. But they didn't kill my dork, so I'm kind of not sure what is in their hand. Flamewake Phoenix. Interesting. So they're gonna put my Karn to 1. And then if I draw a land, I get to kill Phoenix, plus Karn, make my Sky Sovereign a blocker. Flying blocker, for that matter. Yep. Alright, let's hope we hit our land. If not, we still have Voracious Hydra. And that can kill the Phoenix. Okay. It's fine with me. So the Hydra's just big enough to kill the Flame Wake and just big enough to survive. Also, my Karn's still alive, so I'm definitely happy with that. I'm gonna plus my Karn on no target. And we're definitely looking like we could stabilize this game. But I'm not counting my opponent out yet. Chain Whirler, okay. Well, luckily for me, none of my creatures died to Chain Whirler, and Karn's still alive. Perfect. That's exactly what we needed to land. So we're going to play Sky Sovereign, destroy their Chain Whirler. We'll turn this into a creature, so that we have a blocker, and we will attack for 2, and I think now is where we pull very far ahead and just overrun our opponent, because our creatures are just better quality. Sky Sovereign in these creature matchups is just so brutal. Takes over a game incredibly fast. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Chain Whirler dealing 1 to all my creatures does not matter. Okay. Just going to plus on Sky Sovereign. Gonna go to attacks. We're gonna send these in. Chain Whirler's gonna die. We're gonna take 7 to the face. Now we get to go Wolfwillow, Forest, tap the Forest, tap Nykthos, untap Nykthos, play our Hydra, and we're going to double the counter, so it's going to be an 8 power Hydra. And I think the writing is on the wall. My opponent cannot come back from this at all. Yep. Alright. So, since they're playing Chain Whirler, I'm actually going to take out 1 dork. It may look really weird, but there's a reason behind that. And the thing is, they play 4 Chain Whirlers, so like them having one is like super likely in a lot of games. Scooz is also just a better card for the matchup. Being able to gain the life, but also become a bigger blocker is very important. And I just don't want them to get random value off of their Chain Whirler. So that's why I'm doing that. Also, Burning-Tree doesn't die, but also is a nice blocker. Voyaging Satyr doesn't die to Chain Whirler. Although it's less efficient in mana cost, the fact that it doesn't die to the Chain Whirler is so important. Everything else is fine, though. But yeah, I think I just need to make that one change. This is definitely a game where like having multiple burning trees is totally fine. I wouldn't mind keeping a hand with like no 1 mana ramp spell, but had like 2 burning trees or like a burning tree or like Wolfwillow. That'd be a pretty solid start. Just anything that gets bodies out that don't die to the Chain Whirler. That's how mono red really gets you, is when they get free 2-for-1s off of you. Well, this hand's fine. We have Hydra, which can get pretty big. We have our Mana Dorks. We also have our high impact Planeswalkers. Okay, that's a pretty good card against us. It's definitely not the scariest, but being able to kill the Llanowar Elf on turn 1 for me is nice. Okay, Nissa was not the best draw ever. I do not need to draw 2 of her almost ever in this matchup because I have to get to 5 mana, which is definitely not easy to do when their deck is removal.deck most of the time. So they're just going to take this time to kill my elf. Okay. I have a feeling this is going to die really quickly. They're going to play a Chain Whirler most likely, which would be very unfortunate. Oh, that's not a Chain Whirler. What does this do? Makes a treasure. I'm intrigued. So here, I could play... I could play a 4/5 Hydra. I'm kind of intrigued. They didn't play a removal spell on my Llanowar Elf. I think I'm just going to slam this Vivien while I can. Put counters on this so it doesn't die to Chain Whirler. Okay. We're rocking and rolling. So if my elf doesn't die, I can make quite a bit of mana next turn. I could play Nissa. Play something else. Let's see what this is. Glorybringer. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's scary. So now my Vivien dies, and so does my Llanowar Elf. That's a disaster. Huh. Tough. Wow. I was not expecting that. I'm going to play Karn. So I can get Heart of Kirin, and that can block the Glorybringer, because I can animate this when they go to combat. They're going to turn off Heart of Kirin. It's really, really unfortunate. Okay, so they turned off Karn the Great Creator. It's definitely interesting. So if I draw a land, I get to slam Vivien, untap, play Heart of Kirin. Okay. So let's just play Heart of Kiran. Boros Reckoner. What is this deck? I'm definitely blocking this. No questions asked. Whew. Sweets. So, play Nissa. It makes a 3/3. I could play a Hydra, and then it'd be a 6 power creature. The problem with that is the Boros Reckoner. So yeah, I'm just going to play Nissa. Also, this makes a lot of mana. I want to be able to kill the Boros Reckoner with Voracious Hydra, but don't want to make it too big to where it could just shoot me for 1 billion. And I'm okay with my Nissa taking 3. That's no big deal at all. I honestly don't even know if I'll block this Wily Goblin, since I have another Nissa as fodder. Although I might just block it, who knows. Whew, that's gross. So what are they going to do? They're going to make 3 1s, you know. Question is, where are they sending? Are they going to prioritize my face, Nissa? I'm definitely not blocking now. If they send that Nissa with these, I'm not blocking. Oh wow. Oh wow, they just want me to keep my Nissa alive? I'm really confused by that. I'm gonna block. Wow, I'm really surprised by that attack. I thought they were gonna try to kill my Nissa. Burning-Tree, so that's basically a free pip. So I can go Hydra for 3, which would be just enough to kill Reckoner. I think I'm gonna make this into a creature. If they kill my Karn, doesn't really matter. What matters here is I have blockers. Yeah, that's fine. Now I can just go plus on this, and it can survive the tokens. And I think I should be able to stabilize from this position. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. So now they make 2 elementals, kill Vivien, Arkbow Ranger, or Nissa. Huh. It's pretty good. It deals some damage. It's also a blocker, which is relevant. I think they're probably just going to kill Vivien. That would make the most sense to me. Although turning off Nissa would be pretty good too, because that turns off mana. Interesting. This Chandra is a problem. It's making a lot of power. Yeah. Okay. That's how they're sending. Nykthos was not the best draw, so I think what I'll do is I'm going to just alpha at Chandra. That way I don't have to worry about it anymore. And I figure they're going to be blocking Nykthos here, so that I can play my other one. But we'll see how they block. Okay, so they did block the Nykthos. And now, I think I've stabilized thoroughly. Basically, I just need to dodge another Glorybringer. That would be the disaster scenario. Because them wiping out my lands is definitely scary. I do think I'm going to plus this Nissa on this Nykthos still, because I do want to keep some force around in case there's a board wipe of some sort. My opponent's definitely going to die to this Nissa very quickly if they don't find an answer, though. Because next turn they're taking 9 if they don't block. I think my best draw is another Vivien, Arkbow Ranger. Even a Jadelight Ranger would be fine. Honestly, more lands is also fine. Just more fodder for Nissa. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to stick to the plan of animating Nykthos because I want to have some force left over if they draw like another Chandra. Okay, that is not going to do anything. Okay. It's going to keep putting on the pressure. Eventually my opponent's going to have to do something. But these These lands getting in every turn is very fast at killing me. So they're just going to block 2 of them and then shoot Nissa for 1 so that she can't ultimate and make indestructible 3/3s. That'd be just game over. But they're still not in the best position, even if they find a way to board wipe me. Because they still have 2 more lands left over that don't die. And then they go to 2. Should be the game, yeah. Alright, we are 2-2. This is the match that really matters because I can get at least enough points back to play another league later. But also I would get a treasure chest. This hand is fantastic. We have a lot of ramp. We have 2 Planeswalkers. This is exactly what kind of hand we were looking for. This is the 7 that we wanted. And if these elves don't die, we're looking pretty good. Temple of Malady. So I haven't really seen a deck that plays that yet. It could be like maybe Sultai Delirium plays it nowadays, but who knows, honestly. Just gonna throw out all of our dudes. And if they don't kill one of our dudes and we draw land, we could play Nissa. But now, since they thought erased us, that will change some things. Okay, so now we get to slam Karn. I think I'm gonna get God-Pharaoh statue. That way they have to have like another Thoughtseize effect or a way to kill our dorks. And this will slow them down a lot. Whoa. Okay, so this is 5-color Niv. It's a fairy. Yep. Nykthos, okay. So now I can get Sky Sovereign. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Sky Sovereign makes a lot of sense here. Six, 7. 6, 7. Trying to see if I can do both. I think I can. So as long as the fairy can't activate, I think I should be fine. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. I go from untap this. I go from 7 down to 5, then I go up to 9. So I can't do that. So I think I just play Sky Sovereign here. Yeah, this makes more sense to me. 7. So now I could go Sky Sovereign and Voyaging Satyr. Hope they don't have Supreme Verdict, but at least I can take down Teferi. But also, Sky Sovereign can attack next turn because I have Karn the Great Creator. So if they don't have Supreme Verdict, I get to slam God-Pharaoh. Okay, yeah, so now the game's probably just over. So I go 1, 2, 3. Jadelight Ranger. Yep, we'll take that. And now my opponent's most likely conceding. Yeah, okay. So 5-color Niv. Playing Supreme Verdicts, things of that nature. They play almost entirely at sorcery speed. I think we just have to go under them, honestly. They play a lot of Planeswalkers, so I'm going to take out one Satyr and then putting a Questing Beast. And I think that's the only sideboarding I'm really going to do. Everything else is like... I think I just want all my 1-mana dorks. I want a way to be faster than them. This is very questionable. I'm going to mulligan. This is also very bad. Going to 5. Okay, let's place. Definitely bottoming Hydra. And then I think... we could gamble on a land, maybe. Not sure. I don't want to put any of my Planeswalkers away. I think they're just too valuable. But also, like, they don't really run too much removal, but they do run discard, so that's what I'm concerned about mainly. I'm concerned about them, like, making us discard like our only Planeswalker and then us having no gas, and that's definitely, like, not a great situation. Okay, so now we get to play 2 things. Teferi. Oh, no Teferi. Okay. So, I'm guessing a board wipe's coming. Which means I could play Karn. That way I guarantee a land drop. And I can also play in the same turn a Heart of Kirin. So this allows us to go in, like, different directions. So even if they have the verdicts, like, we're still in okay shape. Oh, wow. So they don't have any play. Now I could just get God-Pharaoh statue and just stifle their mana. Yeah, and I think that should probably wrap it up. I'm going to keep Karn around because he can animate my God-Pharaoh statue and make it a 6/6, which is just insane. It's going to deal a lot of damage. Don't know how my opponent comes back from this. Definitely think they need, like, to fairy bounce my God-Pharaohs for a turn, but that doesn't seem great. They can't even cast a Niv here. Supreme Verdict's uncastable. They're falling behind very quickly. So, they still probably have a verdict. Let's see. I'm going to play around a verdict. I'm going to go... Oops. I'm going to crew here. going to plus, and I'm not going to animate God-Pharaoh statue because I don't want it to get verdicted. Put 2 counters on Heart of Kiran. Okay, they're going to Abrupt Decay for 4 mana. Okay. So now they take 1, and if they have the verdict, we're still in an okay spot. Okay. It's a very expensive Sylvan Caryatid. 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. So what do I have in my sideboard? I could get a Great Henge. That seems really good, actually. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to plus this on a dork. Make the Grand Henge really cheap. And now it doesn't really matter if I play creatures or not, because each one will draw me a card. And I think that should definitely like wrap up the game. Because next turn, if they don't board wipe me this turn, Questing Beast. Okay. So they're attacking me. So Vivien goes down to 2. Okay, that should be pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this can kill the Questing Beast. They'll trade, which is fine. But also, I'll get a counter from the Great Henge. Fight. Okay. We go. Two counters there. Wonder if I want to play this other one. No, I think I'll just wait. Let's attack with everything. Clock's ticking for my opponent. This God-Pharaoh statue is punishing them very heavily. But also my board state's just insane. Now it feels like they have to just verdict here. I don't see what else they can have. Yeah. So that's just devastating for them. Okay. Vraska. So this can gain them some life. Or not. So now they're going to go to 1, which means that this Vraska will have to activate eventually. They can't kill any of these permanents either. Sacking their islands. They're at 2 now. Caryatid. It's the only spell they can cast this turn. I'll gain 2. And that's the game. Alright, we did it. Whew. So, we had a rocky start for sure. We started off with 2 losses, but they were like very close losses for sure. And then we ended up winning 3 in a row, so not too bad. I definitely like the changes that were made to the deck. Still tweaking the sideboard here and there. I do think that I want to find another swap that can go in for this questing beast maybe. Yeah, I think the deck just is lacking like a way to grind super well if it doesn't draw like Karn or Vivien and stuff like that. I'm just trying to think of like options that the deck can potentially have. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any questions about the deck, or if you have any recommendations for possible sideboard cards I can slot in for the creature package for Vivien to search for. Maybe there's a different direction that can go. Maybe it can go 2 colors like green-blue ramp. Who knows? I do always want to try out like Hydroid Krasis and Pioneer. Maybe this isn't exactly the right shell for it necessarily, but it's always a card I'm excited to try out. But anyways, catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.